first question. Shy audience.
How's everybody doing today? Good? Happy? You guys happy? Yeah. Are you? Somebody's getting some sun. Well, I'll tell you what. Okay, what are we talking about today?
Hi, this is Sasha from Croatia. I just read very recently one of your very interesting statements. You said that you saved Metallica twice. Once coming in and second coming out. So can you please tell something about it? Thank you.
Wow, that's quite a little starter, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It says what it means. I don't think it really needs a giant explanation. They chose the right person. We were able to go through with what we did and accomplish what we did. I had to make a great sacrifice when I left in order for the band to continue. I think it would have imploded if I wouldn't have left. So, there you go. I gave them, I think, another chance to reform themselves. Somebody had to step up and do it. So that's what I mean by that. No, nothing grand or anything like that. That's kind of what I feel. And it's in no way disrespectful or negative, only a positive thing that I got to help my favorite band and got to be a part of my favorite band. Now I'm back to being a fan of them again as they continue to set standards. It's all good, all good, all good.
Next question.
Hi, this is George from Rock Art Greece.
Hi, George.
Do you want to tell me how you decided to go out on tour without having an album out yet, without so many people knowing your new music?
Yeah. What we like to say is we kind of got the cart before the horse. You know, that we really got ahead of ourselves in a way that we didn't have it too developed before we started to do shows, but that was the opportunity. I don't want to turn down any opportunities for this band, and that's the way they just showed up at the time. I think in the first intent of this thing, we were just kind of recording some songs, Jessie and Jesus and myself as the beginning of the power trio, just recording some songs for ourselves. And one person gave it to somebody else. The Soldier Head gave it to a radio guy, and the radio guy played the song. And 3 weeks later, we had offers for record labels and agents and all this kind of stuff. So it just transpired. It really wasn't a grand plan to do that. It's just what happened. I followed through on it, you know, and now this is what's happening. So we kind of, it happened, the offers came at us, and I took them before we really even had the band formed. Mike's only been in the band for about 3.5 months. This band's only been together for about 3.5 months total. That was our 15th show that we've done as a band right there. So, you know, we had to catch up to it. That's what happened.
Hi, my name is Paul, and I'm from Moscow, Russia.
Hi, Paul.
Classic Rock magazine. So, Jason, you've been to Russia in 1991, I believe, and you took part in pretty historical events. So, what memories have you got back from that time, 1991?
You're speaking of the Toshino airfield with AC/DC, and I usually answer the question in interviews when somebody says, what are the coolest gigs or some of the best moments you've had in your career? That one always comes up every time because of the way that we were breaking new ground. It was a concert that was given to reward the fans, to reward the youth, and all that kind of thing. There's a very special reason why it happened. Once it happened, I think that none of the bands that played there were prepared for the level of appreciation and outright just holy crap energy that came from that crowd. And at some points, depending who you ask, 300, 400, 600, how many over 1,000 people were on that field for that show. So that in itself, just the magnitude of it was very special. I'll never forget it. Very special time.
Further questions?
Hey guys, Fredrik Olofsson from Rockbladet. Very nice to see you. Awesome show. Let's not look past, the Metallica stuff. Let's look to the future. So how come you guys got together in a band? Tell us the story. Do you know each other since before, or how come you got started?
Lose together a little bit. Lose together. So at the end of the '90s, Jesus was doing some local San Francisco area, helping out with Metallica stuff, gear and things like that. And that's when we met. He then was the drum tech on the Echo Brain tour. Okay. And then he started coming to the Chop House and playing music. So we've been playing together as a rhythm section since
about 10 years, 8 to 10 years, playing jams, weekends. Yes, we just get together and play and play and play and record and just jam out and have fun, really,
And I've known Jesus for 12 years probably, so when he's doing that, I'm like, take me with you, Many years, and eventually it happened.
Yeah, he's very musical, so I knew he'd be up Jason's alley and we can vibe, and I was right, thank God. It worked out.
this trio that happened, actually, the three of us were about 5 years together, just playing improvisational music and recording everything, and kind of started making seeds of stuff. So we actually built this. But they have that many years together, and there's nothing that replaces that experience of playing together and learning each other's style, as it were, and moves and everything. Nothing replaces that. Very valuable. And I saw it immediately. They've been in a bunch of bands together, and they've paid their dues, but now I'm trying to give them a chance to get reward for it. Then Mikey's obviously done his own thing, and he joined, like I said, 3.5 months ago, and he'll take it from there, I think.
Yeah, we have the same manager. I was in a band called Stain, still am in it, and we took a little bit of a break, and I got an email from my manager saying, Jason was looking for a guitar player, probably around, I guess, early February.
Yeah.
And I actually had a trip planned to Los Angeles. I live on the East Coast, and I had a day where I was going to go write with a singer that I knew, and instead of that, I went and jammed with these guys. And that night, Jason asked me to join the band, and that was February 23rd. And that was the first time we played together.
So now you're the new guy.
I'm the new guy, yeah, totally. Yeah, that's
Nice,
me.
nice.
Yep.
That is right.
I have the penis sippy cup.
But so we finished the record as this 4-piece band, the LP that's coming in August. So we actually finished that in the middle of April. I mean, he'd only been in for a little while at that point, so that's a lot to accomplish. It's moving very fast at this point, but that's pretty much up to date right there.
One more, Jason. Echo Brain, Voivod, Ozzy, Metallica. You've done so much. Flotsam. You've done so much different music. What should we expect from this project that carries your name?
A culmination of all those things, really. That's what it comes down to. All those experiences I've had the privilege of being a part of with all those bands you mentioned, and all the different players, some really great players. And I always just try to hang out and soak it in, get into it, try to take it in the best I can in the experience. So basically that's what it comes down to. What I'm most excited about, I guess, if you're looking for any kind of future type of thing, is that we're to be able to write the songs together as the full band, to let JR bring his ideas in, to let Mikey bring his ideas, and everybody write the next album together. Because these are the seeds of these songs of the album are my ideas to begin with, just the seeds. But then these guys make it the fruit, right, that we all listen to, all taste now, or whatever. That's what it comes down to. So I want to be able to get to a place where we're doing it collectively. The seeds are all planted together as well, and then we all do it together like that, because these guys got great talent, and I want it to be multi-dimensional, still always heavy metal music, but fast, slow, otherwise any of it, heavy metal music. That's, the name of the record is Heavy Metal Music. That's what we're gonna do, man. That's just it. Keeping it simple, no questions about anything, just there it is. Fundamental, everybody putting in, everyone wrote on this record, no matter what anybody says, all his solos, all his pieces, background vocal, anything like that, everything Mikey did, all the parts that he played on drums, everything, it's all everyone's equal contribution to the record. So I just want that to continue and get deeper.
I got a question. When I listen to your new songs, it makes me think a bit about the old project IR8.
Nice.
Do you think about it?
Some of the rawness maybe is like that, and because that was recorded in the same room with a lot of the same equipment.
Yeah, the shop house.
So yeah, so that's that. The similarity already is can't get away from that no matter what. Yeah, it's fundamental, it's basic, and it's raw kind of music. Yep.
Other questions?
Hi again. This is the question for everybody except you, Jason.
I like that. Thank you very much.
Are you coming from the same musical background? I mean, have you been into heavy metal and stuff like that from the beginning, or you just adopted to that style which Jason would like the band would like to go? Thank you.
Personally, like my style, I'm a more rock and roll and punk influence, but also old metal, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, UFO, all that stuff. You know, a lot of things that Jason grew up with, just as much my influences, and but I have my other influences too that make my own style. So,
My style's the same background, metal, Iron Maiden, Priest, Carmine, all those drummers that I listened to and watched. I pretty much I like it and I love it. That's why I'm doing it.
I started out very young playing an acoustic guitar because I liked folk music that my parents listened to. And that kind of, as I grew older and first heard like Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, and Priest and Maiden, all that kind of stuff, turned more to metal myself, And in the band I was in, I was the one that would bring the heavier aspect kind of what we did to that band. So
I think that I'm going to talk anyway because this is what happens. No, because I feel that as I have the overview of it or whatever, the reason that this is together, the reason that maybe we chose each other to make this happen was because of the different colors that come in and make this multi-dimensional thing that I was talking about earlier. I want it to be broad. I want it to have all kinds of colors and shapes and wonderful things, but still be heavy as fuck. I mean, that's really what we want. So between his, like what I call Americana rock and roll, it's like the AC/DC and raw riffs, and his solos are bluesy and the real freaking American rock and roll. That's his forte, coming from punk rock music for JR, right? And Mike, he comes from like one of his earlier teachers, Tony McAlpine, right? And that's where those solos and all the stuff that you hear him play, that's where that comes from. A completely different flavor than JR. Nothing better, worse, lesser, or anything, just different that makes the colors, right? And the styles that he comes from, same thing. Between the Latin stuff and the Iron Maiden and all that in between, mixed with my Motorhead and Sabbath deal, that's how you get what you get. So I think that that's what makes it multidimensional. That's why I think it's going to be something.
Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, I just wonder what the difference between just like being the bass player in the band and being like the face of the band, the front man.
Many different hats to wear than before, many different responsibilities. I used to just pretty much get to think about going for it like and background vocals and stuff like that, but for the most part just thrashing about and playing bass. So now I have to really concentrate on the lyrics all the time, actually trying to sing a little bit and not just going all the time. That's a lot different thing to do. And being up front, trying to conducting it, I think that it's been a long time that I wanted to really do that, I think, inside. But now that it's happening, I love the challenge of it. It really makes me stay on my toes. And I think I have a good support system to be able to do what I'm doing as I learn to do it. Because this is all learning as I go right here, for sure. It's very new.
Okay, do we have a final question?
Go ahead, man. If you got something, do it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
I'm sorry, it looks like a private press conference because I have so many questions.
That's okay, bud. Let's do it.
First of all, since I had a chance to talk the first, I forgot to thank you for coming here because maybe I'm a little bit surprised that so little people appeared here because you are one of the greatest persons in metal who ever played in Sweden Rock Festival. Really, not maybe in this form, but as Jason Newsted, someone who play bass. And I thank you for putting heavy metal up front all the time, and it means a lot to me. But my question is, what happened to heavy metal with the Metallica starting 1995 with the Load album and Reload album? That two words were forbidden words.
What was that? What words were forbidden?
Heavy
words?
metal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we all knew that you played heavy metal, but
Wow.
to ask you to, I never read interview that heavy metal was used in the way you use it now. So
Oh.
thank you again for
Oh,
bringing
cool.
it
Yeah,
up.
I don't know. I won't say anything negative about any of the Metallica stuff. So it's all good. But I think that the first part of your question has to do with one of our very first questions, maybe your first question about the set list. How come you came out and did all this stuff without having a record out or having an album out or whatever? How can you be so bold to do such a thing? So it has to do with that. As you're saying, I'm surprised there's not more people here to see this. Well, not very many people know that we exist yet. 3.5 months old. We put that EP out of the garage in January, you know, on the old iTunes there and all that. And now we got this going a couple months later. So once people hear the album and then we come back around and now that people know what we're about, I think there'll be more people that show up. They just have to establish that. Nobody knows we're here yet, really. Just a few people do. And so those people showed up. And they were happy to see us and we were happy to see them.
Great final word. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.